Good morning. So I'm playing Catchup still again on Ethne Dawn's 31 Days of Tarot, and starting with the 27th. Share your first professional reading experience, either as the reader or the seeker. And I have only received a reading that I can remember twice, and I don't remember. I think it was from this Crooked Crown, and she wrote up everything so wonderfully, and everything was so spot on. But I'm terrible at reading things. I've done a few readings. I'm terrible at remembering things, sorts of things. Other than the fact that her reading was spot on and informative, and I could never write anything up like she did. And I've only done one reading. I've done a bunch of free one-card readings, but I've never done one until recently that I was paid for. And we just exchanged lunch, and it was just, wow, somebody wants to pay for a reading by me. It was just different and fun to have someone ask me to do a reading for them and pay me for it. And then the payment was lunch, and so it didn't happen until we could get together and have lunch and chat, and it was just kind of cool. So I guess I can't write that all down. Okay, let's move on to day 28. Share one celebrity you would refuse to read for, no matter how much they paid you, and why. And I was thinking there really isn't anyone, but I guess I'd say our asshat of a president. So, because he's an asshat, and he doesn't know how to treat people. And isn't worthy of receiving anyone like our sort of help. Okay, moving on. Day 29. What are your beliefs around the mechanics of a reading? How do you think it works? Is it your subconscious, higher self, or spirit? I think it's a combination of all of those things. And for me, readings for myself kind of just make my brain click and help me see things I might have been ignoring or might not have been thought important. The cards just make me think. And moving on, what is the most culturally inclusive deck I own? Well, I think my first one that I purchased is the Ghetto Tarot. And I recently picked up several other decks. Let's see. Oh, the Sweeney Tarot. By Lee Bradford. And I just received the Slow Holler Tarot. It's one I've had. I made the L a T. Stow Holler. That's really cute. Slow Holler. Another one that is Bad Bitches, sort of. And Tarot Santa Muerte. Next World. And the most recent Next World and Dust to Onyx are two of my most recent additions to my hoard. So of the decks I own, I think those are probably the most inclusive. So that's a few, I guess. I never thought of it that way, because I go for the artists and makers process and artwork more than anything as my appeal for a deck. So all of these I got because I like the artist's artwork, I like the maker's style, and the fact that their cultural bent gets included in their style is just a wonderful plus. So I own 7 decks that depict other than white characterizations, and I don't use any of them enough. I have too many decks and I get lost in my decks. So let's just move on now to the last day. What are your favorite tarot apps? Do you work with them? On what platforms? Smartphone, tablet, etc. I have the Fool's Dog apps for several of the decks that I own. I like their apps. They are flexible for me. Sometimes I use them just to have the guidebook on my phone or my iPad. Sometimes I use them when I don't have the space to do a layout on a table somewhere, or I'm kind of doing it surreptitiously. On the fly when I'm camping or on a road trip. I have, let's see, let's get into the list of what I have, I guess. Let's see, my apps and tarot. Tarot. Okay, I have the Golden Thread app. Oh wait, why did it? Oh no, this didn't open up mine. Dang it, it searched all of them. Library. Oh, no. Okay, that's why it did that. Let's see. So I have Everyday Witch Tarot. And I have Golden Thread. And let's see. Ostara, which is one of my favorite decks. I have the first edition and the second edition and the app. Shadowscapes. I have the deck and the app. Pretty much have the deck on the app and the app on all of them that I have. The Wild Unknown. The Wildwood, Witches Tarot, and Wizards Tarot. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I also have Odin's 8, Odin's Ruin app. So I have 9 divination apps on in my playbook library. I love them. They're great for when you don't have the space to pull out a deck. And I most often use them in a freeform spread because that's just me. And I can't say that any single one of them is my favorite. But when I have want to be able to do a reading but don't have the space, they're quick and easy to use anywhere. And I guess I love them all because they just represent the decks themselves well and work well for me. And that is all for this. I did it. I hope everyone is having a great week. Stay safe. Love you all. Peace. Doodles.